Welcome to the Great to Win of the show where we explore the moment people have to let go of destructive pattern, limiting identity, and the internal battle to rebuild their life with purpose and clarity. Today's guest is Adam Dahl, top 2% podcaster, number one best-selling author of 1 billion podcasts for the future of all media, co-founders of Mission Matters Media, international speaker, and the man some have called the new Larry King, with over 25 million views, few available in 180 countries, more than 6,000 interviews conducted with world leader, C-suite executive, everything, top entrepreneur. Sam has built one of the most significant media platforms of his generation. Before all of that, he has spent 14 years in financial service, managing relationship for over 400 families, accumulating net worth exceeding $500 million. The defining moment, what made staying was no longer an option in his world. He realized the comfort of his current path could no longer outweigh the possibility of building something more meaningful. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Benaya, man, I'm happy to be here, and I love it. I've been doing interviews in Africa, and I'm in, man. I love it. It's been very good. Like, the audience out there are amazing. The hosts are amazing. I'm in, man.
Yeah, thank you. So I had 14 years in financial service, significant investment, 5,000 businesses owner, 3,000 high net worth families.
Making me feel old, man. That's a lot of numbers. How old am I? No.
Hundreds of millions in assets under relationship. What did comfort in that particular career after actually feel like? And when did you first notice it starting to work against you?
I felt like when I'll tell you how my comfort took place. It was a little bit different than I think most. So in that business, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, but for me, this was the case. So I found myself in a position where the way that I make more money is actually to go inward and to talk to less people. So what do I mean? And in that type of business, what happens is it's called like your assets under management. So the idea is to work with less people, but richer people. So they have more money. So what I found was I started to think and I remember talking to some of my clients who maybe didn't have enough money to work with me, but they've been with me for a long time. And I'm like, did I want to not give them good service? Did I not want to give them attention? Did I not want to? And I knew ultimately just the math was basically saying that, okay, for this certain amount of clientele, I couldn't work with them anymore, even though they were loyal clients, because it wasn't going to be very profitable for me, even though they'd been there for a long time. And it made more sense for me to go and focus on only people that are wealthier, like even more wealthy. And why? Because that's how you make more money. So less clients or more wealth. So the idea would be, and I wasn't in this case, by the way, but I'm just giving as an example so the audience will know what I'm talking about. The idea is it's better to work with, billionaire or 2 or 3 billionaires than to work with 500 families.
Yeah.
You can work with, because you make more money working with 1 or 2 people, billionaires, because they have more money than those 400 or 500 families combined. So that's the idea in that particular business, at least under the model that I was running in. And so I thought about it, and at the same time, I had this little marketing company and it wasn't my full-time job. I was publishing books, and then I started this podcast, which is what I'm most known for now, is podcasting. And that was kind of like the opposite to me. It was like I was going outward. I was working with more people, and I was, spreading my message. But more importantly, I became like a amplifier, or like a megaphone, or like a conduit, and I was helping other people share their story. So I'm not saying that I don't make money now, and I'm not saying that I don't, want to make money in media. I definitely do this work as a host for money. Yes, that's how I feed myself. I feed my family. So I'm not claiming that this is like nonprofit work, but I am saying that it feels good to help a lot of people. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, amazing having to kind of leave what is convenient to actually more explore more bigger routes with bigger pay, with bigger dividends. So what did the people close to you think when you make that move?
They thought I was crazy. They're like, what are you talking about, Adam? You're going to go interview people? You're going to go be a host? You manage money. You have wealthy clients. You're in my particular network, I'm a pillar of that society in finance. And I had, referral partners, and I had a really good name in the business, and I had a clean reputation. So to throw all of that away, which is very hard to accomplish. And to say you're going to be interviewing people, you're going to be a media guy, you're going to help people share their stories. You're probably looking at me right now, but now I see you looking at me funny.
Yeah.
You're like, this guy was crazy. You're like, why did you make that choice? But really, I think a big piece of it was just God. Like God, I felt like it was a calling, like it was a higher purpose. And again, when I say that, I'm not saying that I don't want to make money.
Yeah.
I think in this business, it was also a very calculated financial decision. I believe in this business, and I talk about this in my most recent book, which is completely free. Your audience can download the book for free. It's called 1 Billion Podcasts. So the website's number 1billionpodcast.com. And I made a calculated financial decision long term that I believe that the podcasting space is one of the most lucrative spaces, and it's going to be one of the highest growth spaces that people can make really large amounts of money over the next 10, 20, 30 years. I argue in the book that it's basically at like month 6 of YouTube. So imagine if you knew YouTube was going to be as big as they are right now. One day podcasting will be as big as YouTube. It's not right now, but it will be one day. And I talk about that in the book. So if you know that in advance, man, you do your episodes and you make some money over the long haul.
Yeah, yeah, amazing, amazing. And also, you have now conducted more than 6,000 interviews. What did you have to quit believing about who deserve a platform and whose stories matter before you could build a media company built entirely around amplifying other people's voice?
I think your question is more intelligent than my answer.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even want to launch my first podcast. I didn't want to do any of that. The other co-founder, his name's Chirag. We were trying to sell some books because we publish books, right? It was my little small media, marketing company, whatever, for books. So we wanted to sell some books. Chirag tells me, hey, we need to start a podcast. That'll help us sell some books. I'm like, podcasts are stupid. I don't want to do a podcast. Like, I don't even listen to that. What is a podcast? I was telling them no, and I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything. So that's the truth. But then Chirag is the one at our company that does like the deals, like the business side of things. Like he's the deal maker. So I'm like, oh, he says, well, then he'll have to do it. I'm like, no, I'll do it. You keep on making deals. We need money. We want revenue. I'll do the podcast. And so after I started it, I didn't plan on I'm almost at 7,000 interviews. And the show right now, you mentioned top 2%. We're now top 1.5%. So that grew a little bit more too, globally. So in the world. And I didn't plan on doing all those interviews. What happened is in the beginning, we had to beg people to come on the show. We're like, hey, what are you going to get? Nobody knew who I was. Nobody cared. We didn't have a website. We didn't have anything. But then it kind of flipped a little bit at some point. And then people started asking, and they started asking in large quantities. And in the beginning, I just didn't want to tell people no. And I was like, whoa, like this is crazy. Like, so at my height, I'm going to tell you a number right now, but I don't recommend it for anybody else. Just so you know, I would rather somebody does one episode a month for the rest of their lives than for them to do a bunch of episodes quickly and then quit. Like, so I want to say that before I give you the number. Other than you, Benaiah, you stop being lazy. You got more in you. Other than you, for everybody else, they shouldn't think about these numbers.
Yeah.
Give them to. So my record is 91 interviews in a week. 91.
91.
And I did 70 interviews a week for years.
Wow.
70. And now today I call myself kind of like a part-timer because I only do 40 to 50 interviews a week now. So I still do a ton of interviews, and so I don't think everybody should do that. Again, I was maybe wired a little bit differently, and I wanted something different. Like my goal is to help as many people and to become the best host I can be. That's not everybody's goal. You know, I would rather somebody do one episode per week again, or one per month, or whatever they can do, but do it forever. Like my problem is most people, and the reason why I wrote that book is because 1 Billion Podcasts is because most people quit. They start and then they quit. And then they become that person like, oh, I used to have a podcast. And I was like, what happened? They're like, well, I stopped doing it because it didn't grow or because of that. And I'm like, well, how long did you do it? 6 months, a year, 2 years. I'm like, if you think about it, don't think of it like a podcast. Think of it like you're in the entertainment business. How long are the people in the entertainment business? The best hosts that have ever done this business, Larry King, Johnny Carson, Oprah, like all of these hosts, they did it for 30 plus years. So if you think about it that way, then you have the right mindset to think about the kind of money you can make. Do you know what happens if you keep doing this show for the next 30 years and you don't quit and you do it every single week? You make a lot of money. Why? Because all the other people are going to quit. Very few people are going to keep their show for 10, 20, 30 years. I'm only 10 years in, so I'm a baby. I'm like just starting it. People say, oh, you did all these interviews, you did this, you do that. I don't compare myself to like current day. I compare myself to the greatest that have ever done it. So if the greatest that have ever done it have had 30 plus year careers, then I'm like in kindergarten. Maybe I'm in first grade.
Yeah.
I haven't even graduated high school yet. I'm only 10 years in.
Yeah, this is really, really amazing. Yeah. With consistency over intensity. Yeah, this is really, really amazing. And also,
but for you, you can do both. You can do both because you got it in you. So I don't want you slacking. Like Adam said, do one episode per year. For the record, I do a year's worth of content every week. So for you, you can do more. Other people listening, they can't. It's okay. They can only do one episode. You can do more.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is really amazing. And also, what does building a media company teach you about building a personal brand that most entrepreneurs never?
I think that in the beginning, we had a bunch of some things we had misses on, and some things we did were kind of like stretches that I wasn't ready for yet. So for example, we were looking at what other people's content was like. So some of my favorite people that I like to follow, and we were trying to kind of like figure out how to make me fit into other content types. Well, what we realized pretty quickly is that like, that's not sustainable. Number one. Number two.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My first 1,500 interviews had audio only, no camera. Do you know why? Because I was scared. You turn on a camera, I forget my name. I couldn't talk. Like I could not talk. You turn on a camera. My first 3,000 interviews, I did 3,000 interviews before I did an in-person interview. And I forgot to do the intro. I did the in-person interview, and then the director comes up to me and she's like, hey, are you going to do your intro? And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. I just started talking. I didn't do an on stage in front of a live audience. I didn't do an interview in front of a live audience until after 5,000 interviews. And when I forgot to do the intro again.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we looked at the videos and I was up there talking. I was doing the interview. I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't do the intro. We're going to have to shoot an intro separately.
Yeah.
So the good thing is that all the people that can jump on a Zoom right now, including yourself, are better than I was when I started, period.
Yeah.
Think about it. How many interviews before you turned on a Riverside video?
Yeah.
How many for you? How many?
Okay, I think I've done so I think it's going to be like 700 now. Yeah.
Wow. And how long have you been turning on the video?
Because I think I turn it up, I think almost week in, week out. I have about 90 going out every week, like 90 going live
think
every
about
month.
That. You had the video on in the beginning. I didn't. I was too scared. So what you're doing right now has more courage than I had.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
I think the first one I did, it was a video version, but I keep reminding the guests all through that particular interview that please don't mind the way I deliver the speech. It's my first time. Yeah.
Okay. But that's my point. And the reason why I share those stories, it's not actually for me. It's for the people that I think more people should create shows. I think more people should get involved in this business. That's why I share those stories, because it's completely changed my life and done so much for me, my team. I've been able to provide jobs, hire, like all the things that it's brought to me. And so I want other people to have that experience too. And to know that if they can turn on a camera right now, they're already ahead of me when I started.
Yeah, amazing. And also, what does the early season of building look like before anyone start paying attention? Being that you're already featured in full Yahoo Finance, Fizzles, and CBS. What was the early beginning like before anyone started paying attention?
I'll say that when I was creating, I learned this from reading books on entertainment. So the way that I looked at it was that I'm not supposed to listen to myself, and I'm not supposed to watch the content necessarily. And that's because I don't want to judge it. Like, I don't want to judge the content.
Yeah.
I want to judge, because then you start chasing numbers, you start doing other things. And then let me tell you a little trick here, a little thing that's kind of interesting. We're not programmed to like the way our voices sound.
Yeah.
But that's when I say we're not programmed, that's by our biology. So when we listen, the way the ear is built and the way we receive sound is that there's also bone conduction. So there's vibration. When we're talking, there's a certain amount of vibration that's going through your jaw. It's going to, in bone conduction, that lets you receive a certain tone for your voice that you're comfortable and you're used to. So you have one sound when you're listening. When you hear your voice coming out of a speaker or coming out of anything else, guess what? No bone conduction. So you're going to sound different no matter what, like 100%. So here's the crazy part. If somebody listens to, other than singers, if you're singing, that's slightly different because they're hitting a certain pitch, they're singing a certain tune. When they talking versus singing is one thing. And the next statement I'm going to make. So my point being is that if you hear like a podcast or somebody that loves the way they sound, you watch out for them. That might be a narcissist. No. Like, you should not like the way you sound.
Yeah.
Like, we're programmed not to like the way we sound.
Oh,
so if you hear somebody, like, again, other than somebody singing a song, if you hear somebody just talking, they're like, oh, I did that interview, I sound great. Be like, I don't know, might have a narcissist on our hands.
Yeah.
And if that's you, Benaya, you're like, what do you mean? I love the way I sound, and I don't know.
So true, so true. Because I could remember a particular video that I think I did. Was it some years back? I actually went to I think it was a program delivery, and someone did the recording and sent me the video. I think up to now, like 3-4 years now, I've not gone back to watch that video.
Don't do it. Don't ever watch it. It doesn't matter. You're so far. Because here's the thing. You'll be better in tomorrow than you were today.
Yeah, so true.
You'll be better in a week than you are today. In a year, do you think you're going to be better?
Yeah.
So who cares?
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. Amazing. And also, you have said that community is one of the most important things a brand can build out today. What do you have to quit treating as secondary? The relationship, the conversation, the human underneath, the audience metric before community becomes something mission matters could actually build.
So community for us, I didn't really understand it. I like to think about building, like in the beginning, the other co-founder here, Shirag, he was a community builder. He knew about building communities. Like, that was his background. He's always been that. I've never been a joiner. I've never been someone that wanted to like be in front of a lot of people. I'm just kind of private, actually. So I didn't get the whole community thing. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. But I'll tell you, over time, when I see how a show and how these stories can actually help people, I've changed my mind. Like, the community around, I don't look at it like building a show anymore or a podcast. I look at it like building a community. Every episode, if somebody's listening to this right now, they're part of your Quit to Win community. Like, they're a listener, they tune in, they give you their time, they give you their attention. That's something special. And so the way that we've excelled and we've benefited is we're always thinking about how can we help our community? Like, what value can we add? And even when it comes to monetizing, like, one of the services that we began offering was podcast production. We weren't planning on doing that. Our community asked. They're like, hey, can you help us launch a show? Can you help us do this? Can you help us do that? And we said yes, because we had the production capability. But that's how I look at it.
So for entrepreneurs or professionals listening right now who is comfortable but quietly know they are not building something meaningful, what is the question that helps someone tell the difference between legitimate contentment and comfortable at the weather?
So what's a good question? I think for that one, I like to look back and I like to look at the root of where we got an idea. Like, so what the idea is. And what I mean by that is you got into comfort some way. It's like somebody told you something, like, period.
Yeah.
Like when we're kids, we dream. Like when we're kids, we dream. Like anything's possible when we're kids. Like it doesn't matter. Like we have crazy imaginations. They're going all over the place. Like we want to be the president. We want to be astronauts. We want whatever. Like we want to do crazy stuff. But as we get older, we fall into patterns and we fall into habits and we
Yeah.
listen to maybe some people that gave us advice
Mm.
that wasn't always right. So I don't do a lot of speaking right now, but I do speaking gigs and I go to other places. And one of the things I always say when I go to colleges, and sometimes they don't like it, by the way, is I will and I just had this conversation with somebody the other day actually, and they said they wanted to be a doctor. And I was like, okay, you want to be a doctor? And I said, well, how do you know? And I'm having this kind of like, how do you know? And they're like, well, I've always wanted to do this. And I'm like, well, where are you getting your advice on becoming a doctor from? And they're like, oh, well, my mom. And I said, oh, is your mom a doctor? And they're like, no. And I'm like, then that's a horrible person to get your advice from. Like
Yeah.
she may love you. She may all
Yeah.
this other stuff. I was like, but you don't want to do that. Like you need to meet a doctor. And what you also need to do is you need to go and not interview for a show necessarily,
Yeah.
but if they want to, they can. But they need to go like interview that doctor
Yeah.
and ask them, are they happy with their profession? Do they like their job? Do they like what they do? And what kind of doctor they are? And they need to do a little bit more research because there is many doctors are overworked and underpaid and paying a ton in insurance premiums and other things to where it's not what it used to be. So it's a very, very difficult job in certain areas and certain systems. So I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not passing judgment. Maybe this person should be a doctor or not be a doctor. I don't know. But the point is they don't have the right information. I
Yeah.
do know that. Like I do know that they're working on information from somebody that doesn't they may have their best interest in mind, but it doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. It
Yeah.
just doesn't. I think for somebody that's complacent, or you didn't use that word, you used the word comfortable. I'm using the word complacent. For somebody that's complacent, I would ask them to kind of go back in time into whatever year they feel like or however went, and then to start examining where they got their original ideas that
Yeah.
led to complacency.
Yeah. Investigate how you get your original ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, like how'd you get comfortable? Like how'd you let 10 years pass and you didn't do anything you wanted to do?
Mm.
I
Mm.
don't know. But you could find the answer if you do a little, introspection.
Yeah, a little bit taken in there. And so lastly, you have conducted 6,000 interviews across 118 countries. 180 countries. What is the single most consistent things you have observed in the people who actually built something meaningful? The one thing they quit that everyone's still holding back hasn't.
Focus, and I think focus is a big deal. It really is. Like for people that focus on what they're good at, and here's the thing though, is that you can change like certain things you could change. Like industries can change, ideas can change, a lot of different things can change. But when you have your focus on something that you feel is like something you actually care about and want to do, I feel like the people that I've seen win big, they were really focused. Like when I look at myself and not saying, and I couldn't manage money and try to be like a top host in the world. It wasn't going to happen. Like I had to focus on one versus the other. So I'd say focus, like don't spread yourself too thin and really focus. If you're building a business, focus on that business. Don't let people take you to different directions. You don't need 10 businesses. I talk to people all the time. I do this. I'm like, whoa, I can't even run one business barely. I don't know how you're running 5. Dang, and maybe there's some people like I don't know, Elon Musk or whatever. I mean, whatever. Some people, but I wasn't blessed with that intellect. So God didn't give me that one. God gave me focus, and I'm happy He did.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. This is really lovely. Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us on the focus. Start with one and get started. This has really amazing. So, from our audience who would love to kind of connect with you, reach out to you, or listen and follow your work, how can they reach out and where is the best place?
Ask Adam Torres, simple on Instagram, easiest way. So Ask Adam Torres. If you look at the link on Ask Adam Torres, you're gonna see you could download the book for free, 1 Billion Podcasts. You can look at the podcast, YouTube channels, whatever you want, newsletters. We have, I believe we give away more free content than any other company of our size on the planet. Don't believe me? Check out that link on my Instagram, Ask Adam Torres.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you for, you reminder that comfort is not the enemy of success. But it
Yeah,
is,
so that means crank out some more episodes, Benaya. That's what I'm hearing here. Part-timer 2 over there. No, I'm
yeah.
just playing.
But it can absolutely be the enemies of meaning, and that the mission has to matter before the media can. It's exactly what this audience needed to hear. For audience who love to reach out, check the show notes. You see the link to actually be able to reach out to Adam. So, and remember that staying where the comfort outweigh the possibility is never the safe option. Building something that matters is. Once again, a pleasure and honor having you on the show, Adam.
Thank you, Benaya. You rock. Keep it up.